Hello students, welcome back to the economics class of plus 2 standard. Students, today we will start with lesson number 7, equilibrium price. In this chapter you will learn about meaning of equilibrium price, determination of equilibrium price. Under this you will learn about demand, supply, equilibrium between demand and supply, and the situations of excess demand and supply. After this, you will learn about shifts in demand and supply and the equilibrium price. Under this topic, you will learn about shifts, means changes in demand, shifts or changes in supply, and simultaneous shifts in demand and supply. Next topic that you will learn in this chapter, that is special cases of equilibrium, time element and equilibrium price, very short period and long period. And you will learn about the difference between market price and normal price. And last you will learn about applications of demand and supply curves and price control policies. So today we will start with the concept of equilibrium. Students, you know that equilibrium means balance, a state of balance. Now under this we will discuss the types of equilibrium. First one is stable equilibrium. Like you can see in the diagram, when a ball in a glass that is in a equilibrium position. Unstable equilibrium, that is when ball it is on the curved path, that is unstable equilibrium position. And neutral equilibrium, when ball that is kept on the floor or any table or plate, that is known as neutral equilibrium. In this chapter we will discuss two sides of the market demand and supply together to determine the equilibrium price and quantity. We will understand that unless there are forces operating to change supply or demand, the price and the quantity will remain at equilibrium. And now we will discuss some important key terms related to the topic, like demand, market demand, supply, market supply, equilibrium, excess demand and excess supply. First of all, we will discuss about demand. Students, you demand number of things from your parents, like sometimes you demand for dresses, demand for bike, demand for earphones, demand for speakers, demand for mobile phone. Number of things are there that you are demanded from your parents. Because why you are demanding from your parents? Because you are not an earning hands. You are dependent upon your parents. Sometimes you demand for eatables. So with this we will discuss demand. Desire to see a movie, it is merely a wish, because till the time the parents will not give you the money, you are unable to go to cinema. So it becomes a demand when you reveal your ability and willingness to pay for a ticket. Now here the willingness, it is of your parents. If your parents are willing to give you the money and you go to the cinema, then only it becomes a demand. So your ability and willingness to pay for a ticket depends on the price of a ticket also. Then so with the rupees 200 a ticket, you may be willing to visit cinema only once a month because it is costlier according to you. But if cinema ticket prices that comes down to rupees 100, you may be willing to go to cinema thrice a month. and if the still the ticket prices cost it is fallen down to rupees 50 per ticket, and you may be willing to go to cinema 5 times a month. So this is known as demand, or ex post demand, or effective demand, or you can say that actual demand. So effective demand or ex post or actual demand, that refers to the aggregate demand and for different goods and services that is backed by the ability and willingness to pay. So therefore we can say that ex post demand or effective demand or actual demand, that is a sum up of desire for having some goods and services plus purchasing power of any individual to buy those desired goods and services. Next we will discuss market demand. To get the market demand, we simply add together the demand by the different household sectors or by different you can say firms or industries. Here I have taken the example of a price of a chocolate bar, that is rupees 5, and the market demand it is 7 chocolate bars, that is 5 chocolates are demanded by household 1 and 2 are demanded by household 2. So the market demand curve is the summation of all the individual demand curves in the given market. When the price of chocolate bars increased from rupees 5 to rupees 7, the market demand is 5 chocolate bars, means 4 chocolate bars are demanded by first household and 1 it is demanded by the second household. So market demand bears an inverse relationship. As you see that when the price increased from rupees 5 to rupees 7, demand for the chocolate bars it is decreased by both the household. So there is a inverse relationship of market demand with its price. At a higher price, lesser quantity of a commodity it will be demanded. Then so market demand schedule we will discuss here now. In this table you can see the market demand schedule. In this there are 3 columns. First one is price of chips, second column showing the quantity demanded by the different households, that is by household A and by household B, and the market demand it is the summation of the demand by the household sector, by the both the households. Then now suppose there are 2 households, that is A and B, and they are demanding for chips at different prices. Let us see that what is their demand for chips, how the increased prices of the chips affect the demand for the different households. That is, first one is at price rupees 30 per packet, the demand by the household that is A, that is 10 packets, and while B it is demanding 6 packets. At price rupees 40, when the price of chips increased from 30 to 40, household demand that is decreased by 2 units, and by B also demand it is decreased by 1 unit. And when we will sum up the demand, that is different demand by the household and by the household A and B, that is 10 plus 6, you will get the market demand curve, that is 16. In the same way, the next one is with the increase in the price from 30 rupees to 40 rupees per pack, there is a change in the, or you can say that decrease the demand of chips by both the households, and when we will add, that is 8 plus 5, that is the demand of both the households, that is A and B, it is equals to 13. In the same way again, when the price of the chips it is increased from rupees 40 to rupees 50, what happened with this? Again the demand by the household A, it is decreased, and by the B also it is decreased, and the summation of demand by the both the households, that is 6 plus 4, it is equals to 10. So in this way you can get the market demand schedule with the summation of the demand by the different sectors. Then now we can say that market demand schedule shows the quantity demanded, that is quantity demanded by all the individuals at varying prices. See, these are the varying prices, that showing inverse relationship. See, the price it is increased and demand it is decreased between the price and quantity demanded. When we will draw these individual demand curves of firm A and firm B, and the market demand data also we will draw on the x-axis and y-axis, we will get the demand curves. These are the demand curves of firm A, B, and this is the demand curve of firm A. This demand curve, it is the individual demand curve of firm A, and this is the individual demand curve of firm B, and with the summation of both the demands we will get the market demand curve. This is the final market demand curve. Supply or intended supply. Students, you know that whenever there is a demand in the market of any commodity like LED, it is there, what happened at that time, companies give the production and they are having stock, and out of that stock, according to the demand, they sell a part of their stock in the market at a given time period with the available price level. They are ready to sell in the market. Like suppose I have taken the example here, Maruti Suzuki. Maruti Suzuki can produce 10 lakhs cars during a year at a price of rupees 3 lakh each, but is ready to sell only how many cars? 9 lakh cars in the market. So 9 lakh cars, it is a part of stock it is of 10 lakh, and the supply in the market of cars, that is only 9 lakhs. So 1 lakh stock it is left with the company. Then at a price rupees 3 lakh, the company is ready to sell 9 lakh cars in the market. In the same way, I have taken the another example, like Peter England can produce 50,000 shirts in a month at a price rupees 1,000 each, but is ready to sell only 50,000. Out of 50,000 stock, they are ready to sell only 45,000 shirts in the market at price rupees 1,000 each. Now how much stock it is left with the Peter England company? That is how much? 5,000. Done. So we can say that supply or intended supply is a desired quantity, that how much quantity of a commodity producers or firms are willing to sell at a different prices during a given period of time, like per day, per month, per annum. So because supply is a flow concept, supply depends upon the demand and price also. So supply is a part of a stock that a producer wants to sell at a particular price during a given period of time. So supply of a commodity is always at a price. Market supply now we will discuss with the help of this schedule. Suppose price of tea per packet, it is given, it is fluctuate from rupees 2 to rupees 8. and the quantity supplied by firm A and firm B. It is also given. With the increase in the price, you can see that the supply for the tea packets, that is also increased by firm A and by firm B also. And the total supply in the market, it is also increased with the increase in the price level of the tea packets. So from this data, we can see that market supply states the units of a commodity that is offered for sale at the different price levels during a given time period. That is known as market supply. Now when we will draw these market supply curves of firm A, firm B, and for the market, that is a summation of firm A and B, we will get the upward sloping supply curve. This is the upward sloping supply curve of firm A, that is the individual supply curve of firm A, and this is the individual supply curve of firm B. When we will sum up the data of both the firms, we will get a market supply curve that is also upward sloping. This upward sloping supply curve showing that there is a positive relationship, means direct relationship between the price of a commodity and its quantity offered for sale. So direct relationship means when there is an increase in the price of a commodity, the supply of that commodity will also increase. Equilibrium price. Students, you know that what is the meaning of equilibrium? That is a state of balance. Price of apples per kg, it is given that is rupees 100, and the demand for apples, that is 50 kg, and the supply of apples is also 50 kg. So now from this data you can understand that at a given price rupees 100, demand and supply both remains the same. This shows that equilibrium is there in the market. So equilibrium price of a commodity is that price at which the market demand for a commodity equals the market supply. Next we will discuss equilibrium quantity. Price of apples per kg, it is given rupees 100, and demand for apples 50 kg, and supply of apples, that is also 50 kg. So equilibrium price of a commodity, that is rupees 100, at which the market demand for apples, that is 50 kg, and it is equals to the market supply of apples, that is equals to 50 kg. So quantity demanded and quantity supplied at equilibrium price is called equilibrium quantity. The quantity demanded and quantity supplied with the help of a schedule. First column of the table showing the price of apples. Here we are having the rupees in thousands per ton, and the quantity demanded in tons and quantity supplied in tons. At price rupees 46,000, quantity demanded it is 100 tons and quantity supplied it is 60 tons. Now 100, that is the demand, and 60 is the supply. How much supply it is lesser? That is 40 units. So here we can say that demand is more and supply is less. So this is excess demand, or you can say that there is a shortage of supply. In the same way, when the price of apples, that is 48,000, now quantity demanded it will decrease, that is 90 tons, and quantity supplied it will increase due to the increase in the price. We know that price and quantity supplied, that is having a positive relationship, while quantity demanded and price having a negative relationship. Done. So again there is a quantity demanded more and quantity supplied 20 units less. So again there is a excess demand. So both the price levels, that is 46,000 and 48,000, showing the excess demand. Now when the price of apples increased from 48 to 50 rupees, 50,000 rupees, at that time quantity demanded again decreased from 90 to 80 tons, and the quantity supplied again increased from 70 tons to 80 tons. So here you can see that quantity demanded and quantity supplied both are equal. So this is your equilibrium position at price rupees 50,000. Still, when the price increased from 50 to 52,000, quantity demanded, that is also decreased from 80 to 70 units, and the quantity supplied increased due to positive relationship with price, 90 tons. Done. And here you can see that in this price, at this price of 52,000, quantity demanded it is less, while quantity supplied it is more. So 20 units of supply it is more, so we can say that excess supply. In the same way, here also excess supply it is exist. So in this way we can judge that where is the excess demand, where is the equilibrium, and where is the excess supply. The quantity demanded and quantity supplied, according to the table that we have discussed right now, quantity demanded of apples, it is equal to the quantity supplied only at price rupees 50, and the quantity demand for apples at price rupees 50, it is equals to 80 tons, and supply at rupees 50 it is also equals to 80 tons. So as the price is lesser than the equilibrium price, quantity demanded it is greater than quantity supplied, means there was excess demand, and excess demand will push the price upward. A higher price would include sellers to offer more quantity for sale. So the price would move towards the equilibrium, and at the price more than the equilibrium price, quantity demanded it is less than quantity supplied, and the excess supply will push the price downward, and the seller will left with the unsold stock, because now due to rise in the prices, demand it is fallen down, and the effect on the sellers it is that unsold stock it is left with the sellers. Now what the seller will do now? To get rid of their extra stock, they will again reduce the price, and this will attract the new buyers also, and the market price will move towards equilibrium again, and the equilibrium price will be determined. So in this way market forces bring the price in the equilibrium level. Now we will discuss the general statement of the determination of equilibrium. First one is quantity demanded is an inverse function with the price, while the quantity demanded supplied is the direct function of price. From this diagram you can see that upward sloping supply curve showing that with the increase in the price, quantity supplied also increasing, and the downward sloping demand curve showing that with the decrease in the prices, quantity demanded it is increased. So we have two functions as follows. First one is QND, means quantity demanded, that is equals to 100 minus 1, that is a price function, 1p price, and this cross it is also known as Marshallian cross, and quantity supplied it is also equals to 1 price, that is a supply function. Now equilibrium price is 1 at which the quantity demanded equals to the quantity supplied. So Q and D it is equals to Q and S, means quantity demanded it is equals to quantity supplied. Now we are having the value equation for the quantity demanded, that is 10 minus 1p, and quantity supplied, it is equals to 1p only. When we will solve the equation, we can get the value of p. Shift this 1p to the right side, you will get 2p, it is equals to 10, and p it is equals to 10 divided by 2, you will get price, that is 5. It means that equilibrium price is rupees 5, and at this price quantity demanded, it is equals to quantity supplied, that is 5 units. So 5 units would be sold and the purchased in the market at rupees 5 each. If we will see graphically, see the demand downward falling and supply, it is upward sloping. These two functions represent that we find the downward sloping demand curve intersects the upward sloping supply curve at point E, and this cross, it is known as Marshallian cross, and this point E, it is known as equilibrium price or equilibrium quantity. Now in this diagram you can see that on the y-axis we have measured the price, and on the x-axis we have measured the quantity in units. At price rupees 20, quantity, that is 100 units. At price rupees 30, quantity, it is 200 units, and at price rupees 40, that is quantity, it is 300 units. So OP star is the equilibrium price, because at this point demand and supply intersect with each other, and OQ star is the equilibrium quantity here, and OP star is the equilibrium price. So equilibrium occurs at the point where demand and supply intersect with each other. That point is known as equilibrium point. Now we will discuss the case when the price below the equilibrium level. In the previous diagram we have discussed this is the equilibrium level OP star and OQ star. Now if the price falls from OP star to OP2, what happened with this? You can see here the supply, it is up to this mark only, 120 units, and demand, it is, that is 400 units. So this much red line is showing that there is excess demand, or you can say that there is a shortage of supply. Supply, it is limit to this point only, and demand, it is up to this point. So this part showing that excess demand. In the equilibrium OQ star, quantity, it is sold, and OP star, it is purchased. If for any reason market price were to be less, that is at OP2, here in the diagram you can see that OP2, and the price quantity demanded will be more than the quantity supplied. Here quantity supplied is less and quantity demanded, it is more. So excess demand will exist in the market. So this will push the market price upward. From this you can see that forces of demand, forces of supply can push the price upward, so that is towards OP star, till the market price equals to the equilibrium price. Now we will discuss the case where the price above the equilibrium level. Here you can see the above the equilibrium level. You know about the Marshallian cross showing the downward falling demand curve and upward sloping supply curve, and both intersect at point E here. So in this excess supply, on the y-axis we have measured price, and on the x-axis we have measured quantity. as the price increased from OP star to OP1, what happened? Equilibrium, it is shift, and the demand, it is limits only 180 units due to increase in price, and quantity supplied, it is increased to 330 units due to increase in price. With the increase in price, demand, it is lesser and supply, it is more. Now this red line is showing that excess supply, it is there. So in the equilibrium, OQ star quantity was sold and purchased at OP star price, and if the market price is more than the equilibrium price, this is the equilibrium price OP star, and if the market price, it is with OP1, what is the result? Excess supply, it will be there, and this excess supply will push the price downwards to the OP star, because this excess supply, it will exist with the shopkeepers, and to get rid of this excess supply or excess stock, what the shopkeeper will do? Again bring the price of their commodity down. Next is assumptions of equilibrium price. Now we have discussed the excess demand and excess supply. Now we will discuss assumptions of equilibrium price. First one is, all the demand curves have a negative slope. See, these are the demand curves. All the demand curves have negative slope with the blue line, you can see, throughout the entire range. Second assumption is, all the supply curves having a positive slope through the entire range. Now why negative slope with the demand? Because there is a negative relationship with the price and quantity demanded. With the increase in the prices, consumer will consume or purchase less quantity, and supply having positive relationship with price. With the increase in the price, the producer will sell more quantity in the market. So demand, next one is, demand and supply curves intersect only at one point. Only at one point they will intersect, demand and supply. Next assumption is, both buyers and sellers respond to the price changes. Buyers will having a response with the change in the price, that is, with the increase in price, buyers will demand less, and with the decrease in the price, buyers will demand more, while the producers will, with the increase in the price, sell more quantity for sale in the market, and with the lesser price, they will supply lesser quantity in the market for sale. There is no government intervention in the market. Prices change if and only if there is excess demand or excess supply, and this excess demand and excess supply, excess demand exists below the equilibrium point and excess supply will exist above the equilibrium point, and only in that cases there is a change in the prices. Market price has a tendency to be equals to the equilibrium price, so this is called the stable equilibrium. Non-viable industry. Students, non-viable industry, it is an industry that for which the supply and demand curves never intersect with each other in the positive x-axis. From the diagram you can see here, supply, it lies above the demand, and demand, it is lies below the supply curve, and their intersection point, it is in the negative segment. You can take the example of cement company. cement industry will become non-viable if the government puts an extra or the entry tax for the firms, because the cost of the production will increase. That is, the demand and supply curve will not intersect in a positive axis. In case of non-viable industries, supply curve lies above the demand curve, because the price at which the producers are ready to produce is so high that consumers are not willing to buy even a single unit. In India, commercial aircrafts is the example of non-viable industries. This means that aircrafts cannot produce at all. One thing here we have to note it down, that industries which is non-viable in India may be a viable industries in another country. Like commercial aircrafts are produced in the other countries like USA, UK, France, etc. But in India, this is a non-viable industry. Now we will discuss the situations of excess demand and excess supply. A comparison we will see here. We will do the comparison between excess demand and excess supply. First one is disequilibrium between the demand and supply. How? Under the excess demand, quantity demanded for the commodity exceeds its quantity supplied, because excess demand exists only when there is lesser prices for the particular product. So at a cheaper rates, consumer always wants to consume more, while in excess supply, quantity supplied exceeds the quantity demanded. Reason: quantity supplied having a positive relationship with the price, and every producer, in order to earn the maximum profit, they will supply more at a higher prices. So this is the reason that producers think that their commodities will sell in the market and they supply more than the demanded in the market. So excess supply will exist in the market. Now we will discuss the causes. An increase in demand due to rise in the people's income. Why there is an increase in excess demand exists in the market? First reason, that is when the increase in the income it is there, or increase in the price of substitute goods are there. Like if the prices of jaggery will increase, naturally the people will shift towards the sugar. Given the demand of a commodity, excess demand may also arise when there is decrease in supply also. And this decrease in supply due to any reason, maybe due to hoarding or due to any other reasons, that is a increase in the cost of production also. Next one is in the excess supply, a rise in supply due to technological improvement or fall in the wages or the prices of other inputs, or the subsidy given by the government, or relaxation in the excise duty by the government. And given the supply of a commodity, excess supply may also be created as a result of decrease in its demand. And why demand decrease? May be due to the change of season, due to the change of fashion, due to change of season also, due to change in a taste also. Next we will discuss the point effect. Excess demand causes price to rise and excess supply causes price to fall. Students, hope you all have understood the topic of concept of equilibrium. Now it's time to note down the homework. First question is, define the following terms with examples like demand, market demand, supply, market supply, equilibrium, excess demand, excess supply. And second question is, write the assumptions of the concept of equilibrium price. Our third question is, explain the concept of equilibrium price. with the help of well labeled diagram. And students, please go through the YouTube link also for more clarity, and hope you all will complete your notes in your fair copy also. Thank you for listening.